Hey everybody, thank you for being here. I'm so excited for you and to be able to teach you a little bit about what I've learned over since 2010. My life has been completely changed. My name's Roger Gaudette. I suffered 19 years with something called Gulf War illness. It was something I caught while I was in Kuwait. I was a combat engineer, and I suffered, for 19 years. And all of a sudden my wife started bringing me water and out of gallon jugs, and I was already a gallon of water a day drinker already. And for her to come and say that this water was going to change my life, I thought she was completely scammed. I really thought people were trying to hose her, and I thought water is just water, what are you talking about? And it wasn't until like 3 months that she finally worked her magic in explaining how getting a machine would actually save us money, and that was the only reason we got a machine. It had nothing to do with anything. And so I started drinking from this machine, and within 2 weeks, everything started subsiding, and I couldn't believe it. But I thought it was because I was slowly coming off my medications because I was feeling better. I didn't feel like I had to have so much. And what I would do is, because I'm still trying to prove her wrong, is I would get off this water, and within 2 days, my symptoms slowly came back. And I was still, again, trying to prove her wrong and to prove that it was a placebo, that this was all fake. So I actually did it 4 times on and off. And what happened is every time I got off, my symptoms came back. Every time I drank, my symptoms went away. I've been symptom free now since 2010. I help educate people all over the world. I'm an international speaker, and I just share my story and share the science because basically I needed to know why this water was so different, and that's why you're here today, is so that I could show you that this machine doesn't just do drinking water, it does a lot of other things, and the properties of that water is what makes it so magnificently powerful. So sit back, enjoy, and at the end of this, if you want to ask questions, we'll have an open question for any questions you have for me. Okay, again, enjoy. So my presentation called Change Your Water, Change Your Life. My name again is Roger Gaudette. I am a 6A2 and my wife says 6A3-2 as of 2010. And basically what that means is we've had either directly or indirectly changed the lives of over thousands and thousands, basically, is what that means. Okay, so remember, I was completely skeptical about this box that was going to completely change my life, but it did. And so basically I wanted to start telling the world. And so what happened was, as I started getting better, I started getting out of the basement onto the beach per se, and through being symptom free so for so many years, I had Change Your Water, Change Your Life actually tattooed on my arm. But then I had the founder in front of 3,200 people in a global convention sign his arm, sign my arm, his signature, and that's him, Mr. Ashiro. And again, I had a tattoo artist sitting in my room, and we had his signature tattooed right immediately. And then as soon as it was done, I ran down, and then I had this picture by Don Prosser actually took this picture. So it's completely changed my life, and it continues to do so, and changed my life not only physically, but also through mentally helping so many other people do the same. And I've also lost 85 pounds in the process. I've actually put on another 20 pounds of muscle. And basically, I started in the gym. I was never sore, so I just kept going. And I actually went over 500 days straight. No lactic acid buildup, never sore. I drink a gallon in the gym in an hour and a half. Okay, so again, loving my water and just living life and being a product of the product. So let's go right into it. This is what my wife had to do to explain to me why we needed this machine, because I was not going to listen to anything else she was saying about how this water was going to change my life, health wise. I thought, again, remember, it was just a joke. So let's just talk about the two of us, no one else. This is what the cost is, what she had to break down is what we were spending on our drinks. This is within a year, just again, two people, 1,400 on our cleaning products, over 476. grooming and toiletries. And again, these are extremely conservative numbers, over $960. Okay, and then our for our health care, and this could actually ramp up really fast depending on how many colds you get a year, how long your cold lasts, like all these kind of things that the machine kind of started replacing. And so this is what she came down with. So just me and her, very conservative, we'd save $3,100 right out of the box with this machine because it would replace all this. And she was a house cleaner at the time, and she took care of 50 clients already. And she told me that just using the cleaning waters of this machine by pressing a few buttons, she'd save over $2,000 a year just on those chemicals that were making her sick as well. So really, over $5,000 that we'd save, and that's when it made sense to me. I wasn't working. I didn't think that we needed to have another liability out there. Now I'm going to buy this box filter, and I thought of it as another cost, but she's actually saying that it's going to save us money. So that's when it made sense, and I said, okay, let's get this thing. And so wouldn't you like to save the same amount of money? I'm sure you would. Okay, so remember, I thought she was completely getting scammed. So I went on Google, I went up Kangen water scam. That's exactly what I searched, because when I search, you're going to get what you're looking for. But if I was to show you that scientists and doctors publish their peer-reviewed articles in PubMed.gov, Google Scholar, and what they do is they publish electrolyzed reduced water, or ERW, molecular hydrogen, or hydrogen gas. Remember, Kangen water, I found out, is just the term meaning return to origin. So you're returning the water back to origin, or you're returning your body's natural state back to origin, the way God intended. So the scientific term for this water is electrolyzed reduced water, ERW, molecular hydrogen. So that's what you have to research. Kangen water is just a trademark term like Kleenex is. Okay, so there's over 600 scientific studies. We've had it in 150 human diseases. There's studies that have it, and this was back in 2006. I think we're up to 300 human diseases that nothing but good stuff is coming from this water. Okay, and again, it's in peer-reviewed articles and journals that doctors, scientists publish in these books. Okay, so where did it all start? Well, there's 7 locations all over the world called blue zones where there's this miracle water or this holy water. You have Lourdes, France, Lakota, Mexico, Norno, Germany, India, Italy. So you have places that people come and they line up to fill up their 1 gallon to 5 gallon jugs where they feel like all their ailments slowly wean away. And they call it holy water because they believe that God or Holy Mary has come down and alleviated a lot of their pains when they drink this water. So then they make pilgrimages to these places all over. So they discovered that alkaline and antioxidant and super hydrating was the properties of this water. So it wasn't until the Russian and Japanese started competing to try to recreate this water, and it wasn't until the Japanese, who are the masters of technology, emerged as the most advanced, and they were able to recreate this miracle water through a process called ionization, and the company was Enagic. Okay, so what is ionization, or the other term would be electrolysis? Well, basically, we have a filter. It gets filtered of the lead impurities, just a double carbon filter, and the chlorine. And what happens is it passes through these platinum titanium plates. The water gets split into an acidic and then an alkaline. And that's basically what the Kangen water is, okay? And what it does is it grabs, we have natural electrolyte minerals naturally in our source water, and it's calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and iron. Those are your electrolyte minerals that get charged and put onto the Kangen water side. These are the essential minerals of our makeup. Okay, and how easy it is that you get a little diverter, And what it does is it switches it from tap water to the ionizer, and it passes through, gets filtered behind this black box, and the top hose is the alkaline water, the bottom hose is the acidic water. Okay, so let me explain to you in detail what is happening through the ionization process. Okay, so we have an anode and cathode. The H2O comes in, okay, and it gets, gets a charge, and the iron, sodium, calcium, magnesium get put onto the negative side, and on the cathode side is our chlorine, nitrate ions, sulfate. Those are your acidic minerals, and the H2O keeps going around, and what happens is through the electrical charge, it creates a hydroxide ion, and on this side creates a hydrogen ion, and the water gets split to create the hydroxide ion on one side, and again the hydrogen ion on the other side. So the water actually gets split and they get moved over, and we're creating an oxygen gas and the hydrogen gas, so the H2, that's the molecular hydrogen. And the beauty part is it releases all these electrons, these free electrons, who get put onto the hydrogen ion side. So now we have the free electrons coming in, and that's a massive, massive antioxidant. So on one side, we're creating this acidic water, which is very powerful, and on the other side, the Kangen water, which is the hydrogen gas full of electrons that we need. Okay, so that's basically what's happening, but let's have a visual. This is in a plant, in a manufacturing plant, and you can see the water is getting charged, and you can see the hydrogen gas being produced. Water actually switches sides. So the black line is the H2, and the white line is the oxygen. Okay, very oxidizing. Think about it that way. Okay, so isn't that neat? Okay, so the company itself, privately held company since 1974. It's an original equipment manufacturer. That means everything in the building is built in the building. Nothing is outsourced at all. So the quality control is within one unit rather than worrying about other buildings, other countries, not making the product or the internal parts as a high standard as it should be. So the quality control again is in there. So we have massive awards, and let's just talk about a few just here in a second. Okay, we have global offices all over the world, so they're all distribution centers from that Japanese facility. So all machines get shipped off all over the world. I'm in Vancouver. I get all my parts, servicing, anything I need from that office. And if I go anywhere in the world, if I'm close to an office, I can just walk in and get whatever I need. The beauty part of it is as well is that if someone in India wants to purchase a machine from me, I could easily sell it to them because we're not restricted by zones. We could sell worldwide. So it was another beauty selling factor for me, being able to, because my wife has family in Germany. We want to be able to sell to them, and it's easily enough, and just it would be distributed through the Germany office. Okay, where this all started was, again, Mr. Ishiro saw these fridge-size ionizers in these hospitals, and people were coming in, lining up, drinking this water, and absolutely feeling better. They were using other specialty waters for massive skin issues that people were having, and it was alleviating that. So he seen that and he said, well, that's not fair. I think everybody should have their own machine, and that's what he developed, was the small ionizer that you see today. Okay, each machine has ISO 13485 proof of licensing of a medical device. This is in the government of Japan. They issued, Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare issued this as a medical device. We have the Water Quality Association right there in the middle. That's 3 seals, 3 gold seals that not only see the machine for the filter and what it filters out, but also the material that it's made from is all medical grade, and the end result, the water, is at high standards. So what happens there is it makes it available to go into diners, nursing homes, doctors' offices, dentists, naturopathic offices, where people share lots of water from these locations. And again, design and manufacturing of electrolysis water generator for medical and general use. Okay, we're the only ones with these uh, international standardization awards. Okay, I don't care what they say, and you could actually go to enagic.com or to these ISO credentials and actually type in Enagic, and you'll get that information. Okay, so the front panel of the machine. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about what the buttons do. Okay, the Kangen water 8.5 and 9 to 9.5. So at a press of a button, you switch the pH of the water, which is the Kangen water, and we'll talk about each one of those. It makes a clean water, so that's just filtered, non-ionized water. A skincare, which is a beauty water, toner, astringent. It makes a 2.5 sanitary water. Okay, so it's actually making a hypochlorous acid. And on the other hose, which it doesn't show on the plate, you're making 11.5, and we use that to emulsify oil, clean foods, replace some of the chemicals that we're using, and that would come out of the top hose. Okay, so Kangen water, remember I said means return to origin. It has three massive properties. It's an antioxidant, it's alkalizing, and it's super hydrating. So I'm going to break down and show you each one of those things. So we would all agree that we're mostly water. I mean, this says 70%, but I'm sure we should be higher than that. Babies are 95% water. Okay, so how do we get sick? We get sick through oxidative stress, acidosis, and dehydration. Okay, some people think no, you get sick from diabetes, cancer, and everything else, but these are the causes of that. Okay, this is what starts the chain reaction. So how do we stop it? Antioxidant, we alkalize, and we start hydrating ourselves better. And those three properties have to be in place. You could do one, but without the other two, you're not getting your full benefit because your body starts to shut down in other ways. Okay, so by a press of a button, when we press the Kangen water, we create this high pH antioxidant super cellular hydration water. Okay, so I'm going to talk about each one of those now. So how important are antioxidants? Antioxidants are extremely important. Antioxidants are substances that protect our cells against free radical damage. Free radicals are an unstable molecule that steal electrons from our body, and we're bombarded with free radicals every day. So any kind of pollution, even your breath is an oxidant. So the most visual way we could see that is when we cut a fruit in half, like an apple, and we just let it sit there. You could see it starting to brown right in front of your eyes. That's oxidation. That's electrons getting stolen from it. That's oxidation right in front of you. So it starts to age. So list of disorders caused by oxidative stress: Alzheimer's, asthma, cancer, COPD, depression, diabetes, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's. Do you guys know anybody with any of these kind of symptoms? I bet you if you really look at this list, you probably know someone with 2 or 3 of these symptoms all happening to them at once. And this is from the oxidative stress resource.org. Okay, how do we get this oxidative stress? Well, through our diet and medications, air, water pollutants, processed food, stress, chemical additives, lack of good nutrition, smoking, alcohol, pesticides, exposure to toxins. Have you had any of this today? I bet you have. I have. Okay, so how does an antioxidant stop the free radicals? Well, basically we would have our antioxidants through our fruits and vegetables. Okay, and an antioxidant has an abundance of electrons to donate. Remember that picture? I said all the electrons that are getting switched to the Kangen water side. Okay, so the free radical is missing an electron. And what happens is it causes a chain reaction, just like the apple. It starts to brown right in front of your eyes. It's a chain reaction of free radicals attacking that apple. But over time, our bodies start to break down and this chain reaction start going. So what we need is antioxidants. And so what happens is this antioxidant with an abundance of electrons donates that electron. The free radical gets neutralized or is now balanced, and now this is the good time to pee it away. People don't like to pee. Well, I love to pee with this water because I know I'm getting rid of stuff that my body doesn't need. Okay, so how is molecular hydrogen the best antioxidant? Well, Hydrogen is number one on the periodic table. H2 is the smallest antioxidant in existence. Everything is made up of hydrogen. Okay, H2 is so small it penetrates through our stomach lining to begin acting inside our cells. Some people say, well, our stomach acid is going to destroy anything. Well, with hydrogen, it's impossible. It just passes through anything. You could just hold it in your mouth and it'll pass throughout your whole body. Okay, and it's also in a gaseous state, just like I showed you. You've seen that gas being created. That's hydrogen gas being released. So you have other really good antioxidants like vitamin C. You're hearing that on the news a lot lately, okay, as being a massive antioxidant. Coenzymes, so your body has to break these things down. Okay, it has to go through your digestive tract and absorbed into intestines, go through your blood before it starts acting on these free radicals. Well, molecular hydrogen is so small and so light, it just passes through everything. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, so Dr. Horst Filzer, he specialized in vascular surgery, 48 years experience as an MD, educated at Harvard. What does he say? A person cannot eat enough fruits and vegetables in a day to come anywhere near the antioxidant power of one glass of Kangen water. Isn't that a bold statement? But I'm going to show you how that works. We have this ORP meter, okay? It measures oxidation reduction potential. So basically, the potential for something to reduce the oxidation, if you think about it in reverse, okay? So whether a liquid is an antioxidant or oxidizing, we're going to use this meter, okay? This is the ORP meter. So anything with the minus is the antioxidants, so our fruits, our vegetables, okay? Really good antioxidants. And this one is gaining electrons. It's giving you electrons, giving you that electrical charge back. On the opposite end is anything in the positive in millivolts, because we're measuring in millivolts, is the oxidant. So this is stealing electrons. You don't want nothing stolen from you. Why the fish is here is the aquarium guys use a meter like this, and they say when it gets to positive 100 in a freshwater tank, the fish die. If it gets to positive 300 in a saltwater tank, the fish die. So the water becomes so oxidizing that the fish are dying. So what they have to do is add minerals to create this higher charge of it. So I'm going to measure some of these drinks, and we're going to see where we actually stand within the antioxidant range. So here's our ORP meter. We're doing the tap right now, okay? And depending on when the city has put chlorine in the water, that number could really shoot up to positive 500, 600s. So positive means oxidizing. So here's our Dasani. Okay, this is made by Coke, and again, this is just reverse osmosis water, so positive 430. Smart water, I like to explain this is almost like distilled water, so void of minerals. They're actually adding minerals to it. So again, positive 435. Pellegrino, big seller. People love their sparkling mineral water. Positive 350. It's going down a little bit, but again, you see it's oxidizing. There's no minus there. Here's Gatorade, full of electrolytes. Should be in the minus, okay? But look, positive 525, like it's so oxidizing. Here's our Sprite. This is a representation of all pops, and depending on how long these drinks have been in the plastic, that number goes up as more of an oxidant. So positive 487. So let's go right into the Kangen water, just poured. Okay, look at it shoot right to the minus. So minus 700s is what's happening. So now you're gaining all these electrons. Everything else was losing electrons. So let's go 755. Let's go back into the Sprite just to show you this is not a hokey pokey thing. So again, right to the positive, oxidizing, stealing electrons. Let's go back to Kangen water. Bang, right away, minus 700s again. Isn't that incredible? Okay, which would you rather have, gain electrons or lose electrons? Are we getting sicker in society or are we getting healthier in society? Okay, so let's look at this chart again. We're just looking at the antioxidant side again. And what this means is this chart is logarithmic, meaning if you had green tea or vitamin C, it basically sits about minus 80 to minus 100 depending on the water you're making, but these are supposed to be super antioxidants, okay, these green teas. So what it means is every time we move one spot, it doesn't mean one, it means times 6.9. Meaning if the Kangen water today was minus 200, you'd have to drink 6.9 glasses of green tea to match the 1 glass of Kangen water. Okay, so now we got to go times 6.9 times 6.9. So let's go. Times 6.9 times 6.9 times 6.9 times 6.9. So we were over minus 700. The number would have been much higher than this, but right at minus 700, you'd have to drink 107,000 glasses of green tea to match that 1 glass of Kangen water. Do you see why we're changing lives all over the world and why my life was changed so much? We're giving me that much electrons to fight off to boost our immune system. Minus 800, a lot of times out of the K8s directly from the machine. So isn't that a life-changing number? And now imagine if we would have took the number from where the pop was at positive 400 or positive 500 and started adding all this up. Wouldn't that be a huge number? It would. Let's look at that number. Okay, so this is charts of showing electrons in water. So if a drink is positive 400, you're only gaining 1 electron. And why it says gaining 1 electron? Because it's only 1. And remember, a cigarette has 1,000,000 free radicals. Okay, the pollution in the air has millions of free radicals that are coming after you. So if you're only gaining 1 electron, that's why it's oxidizing. You're never going to get enough. So if we start looking at the numbers as we go up into the minuses, you could see how dramatically it changes. So this number here, I believe, is 1,000 quintillion electrons being donated to you. Is that not wild? And what did Dr. Horst Filzer says? You cannot eat enough fruits and vegetables to match the antioxidant power of 1 glass of Kangen water. And doesn't that ring true right here? Okay, one is supporting health, one is making you unhealthy. So chronic disease is always because of low voltage in the body. We are electrical beings. We're water. Okay, if you've ever gone swimming during a lightning storm, man, does that water feel good and you come out feeling like a baby. Well, because we are electrical. So Dr. Tennant wrote the book Healing is Voltage. And what does he say? Cells operate normally at minus 22 millivolts. Remember, these drinks we're pouring were in millivolts. For the body to heal and make new cells, it needs to boost itself to minus 50 millivolts. Okay, so again, minus 50. Well, cancer cells turn on at positive 30 millivolts. They actually shut off at minus 80 millivolts. But if cancer is through the roof now, 1 in 2 males are getting cancer and 1 in 3 females are getting cancer, and that's actually getting closer to the 1 in 2. Wouldn't it make sense to not put oxidizing drinks in your body to, create that oxidation that could create disease? I would think you would agree with me that you want to add a minus to your drinks. Okay, so The Matrix basically was not, it was a documentary. It wasn't a sci-fi show because it was all about humans being exploited for their electricity that they generate. And it's true. So when you, over time, if you were a battery, you'd slowly start wearing off that electrical charge and the disease starts creeping in because you become so oxidized and eventually, you pass away. But basically, wouldn't you want to be one of these, a rechargeable battery where every time you felt a little weak or whatever, you just throw your batteries in and you get that electrical charge again? Well, you can. You do it with one of these with a charge that gets one of these. Wouldn't that be incredible? You're just drinking your water every day and you're gaining that electron that you need to keep your body in charge. Make sense? It does. So how important is alkaline? So are you acidic? Well, the acidity chart is the same as the oxidation chart. Okay, it's the same diseases. They all work in cohesion. They're all working together. You get disease if you don't have all 3 of these properties that I'm talking about. Things creep in. Okay, so let's talk about the pH chart right now. So pH means potential hydrogen. So whether a drink is acidic or alkaline, 7 is neutral or base. Okay, the scale goes from 0 to 14, and our body is trying to stay slightly alkaline at 7.36 to 7.45. The blood pH stays there. Anywhere outside of that means coma or death, but surrounding tissues become acidic, and that's where diseases and sickness creep in. Okay, so this chart is also logarithmic, meaning if we go 8 to 7, it doesn't mean 1. Now it's times 10. So 7 is 10 times more acidic than 8. So if we go to 6, it'd be 10 times 10. So 8 is 100 times more alkaline than 6. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let's look at these drinks. I'm going to add the pH drops to it. This is a combination of phenol red and phenol blue, which gives us the full color spectrum of the pH chart. Okay, here's our tap water, slightly green, Dasani, Smart Water, Pellegrino. Here's our Gatorade. Any sports drink come in about the same, and then our Sprite. Okay, then back to our beautiful Kangen water. Okay, so you could see just by the drinks where they stand on this pH chart. And I know that tap water didn't come out the best, but again, it's green because municipalities are mandated by law to keep the pH as close to green as possible. So look at the pop now. That's 2.5. So if we did the math on 2.5 acid, 2.5 to 7 is, 10 times 10 times 10. The pop is 50,000 times more acidic than base. Now, if our bodies are slightly alkaline or supposed to be there, that means that pop and even that Gatorade is close to 80,000 times more acidic than our body. Okay. So remember, I was drinking a gallon of water before this water every day. And most of my water I was drinking was 7 pH city water. Doctors say that you should, and some naturopaths say you shouldn't drink anything more than that because that's where your body is. But if you look at everything that I ate, and maybe you too, is acid forming. So my steak and potatoes isn't completely all greens. Everything I'm eating is acid forming. Doesn't it make sense now to change the pH that you're drinking to be able to balance out that acidic load that you're doing to your body? I hope you would agree. Now remember, these blue zones all over the world, people live to over 100 years old on a steady basis, and that's all they drink is a high pH, high antioxidant, hydrogen-rich water. Okay, so the body needs that pH. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Kangen water to these drinks and try to change it over. So, I'm forced to drink the tap water. Can I change the pH? Yes, extremely fast. Dasani, let's say that's a steak dinner. Hey, I could drink my water, become alkaline real fast. Stress another acid, right? Change it. Pellegrino going to try to fool you a little bit, saying, please believe I'm healthy. Please believe I'm healthy. And then bang, it creates acid in your body. Gatorade pushed to all the kids because they think their sports heroes are drinking it. Okay, acid. So let's take the Kangen water and go right into the Sprite, see if we could change it. It takes about 36 glasses of Kangen water just to get that Sprite back to neutral. The same with the Gatorade. There's no way I'm changing that. It takes too much. So even if you didn't believe me, and you say that army guy doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm going to have a little sip, and you're on a water trial, and you take a sip, and you completely change the chemical makeup of your body that fast. So some people only share water for 2 weeks, and if they're drinking pop during that, and they wondering why they're not feeling what this Kangen water could do, well, this Sprite stays in your body for about 2 weeks. And if you've only been sharing the water for that length of time and you wonder why you're not getting results, well, that's a big time issue. And that goes for the Pellegrino, Gatorade, it's all the same, okay? We even make our coffee out of the Kangen water because it makes it less bitter, and the power of the coffee after is just amazing. So the hydration, chronic inflammation, pain can be caused by dehydration because the inflammation accumulates in order to repair the damage. This loss of water in the joints allows toxins to linger, leading to pain, inflammation. Bottom line is optimal hydration levels are key to a healthy body. So we're talking about the third property now, the hydration, and why this water works so amazing. They discovered that this pyloric sphincter right here is pH sensitive. So what happens is it when you're drinking Kangen water and it comes in, it recognizes it as a higher pH. It's alkaline, so this valve opens up immediately. Okay, not sitting in your stomach. Not a good time to be eating because that valve will stay shut because you're full of food, and then you might get bloated. That's the only time with this water. But even cooler is this duodenum or duodenum absorbs all those electrolyte minerals like we talked about before, and that goes right into your circulatory system right away. So on the opposite end, when we drink tap water or bottled water, which is acidic, it just sits in there. This valve stays closed, and what happens is your body has to get that water to alkaline. So what it does is it pulls bicarbonate buffers from your bone, your teeth, your hair, pulls it in, and then able to raise the pH of that water. And by that time, you're so bloated, you're tired of that water swooshing around in you. And then also what it's creating is osteoporosis, the breakdown of bones, because people think they have to drink milk, when in actuality, it's a lot of their drinks, even the milk is acidic, causing more osteoporosis, the breakdown of your bones. So in 2003, the Nobel Prize in Chemistry by Peter Ager and Roderick McKinnon, they discovered this water channel called an aquaporin. Okay, and this is the side view of a blood cell. And with this discovery of the water channel, they discovered that it had a positive charge. Okay, and what they found out is when you drink waters with a positive charge, positives and positives, just like magnets, don't want to connect. They actually repel each other. So what happens is this positive water just keeps passing over, and very few will actually get brought inside. Well, the Kangen water, remember, has that negative charge. So now a negative and a positive, all of a sudden it gets sucked right in, gets shot right into the cell immediately because it's just like a magnet. Okay, so this is what's happening with a lot of our people. We have a lot of blood analysis people on our team now, actual nurses that do that, doctors that do this. Okay, they test the blood, and this blood on the left is a formation called a rouleau, and all these blood cells have lost their electrical charge. Okay, so then they clump together. Okay, and then there's no way that that's passing around your body very easily, is it? Okay, so they drink the water, and I've seen as little as 3 minutes, but usually about 20 minutes later, they drink Kangen water, and their cell gets back its electrical charge. The mitochondria starts to pump the way it was meant to, and they start to repel each other and start bouncing around. So a lot of people who come to their first presentation or they drink water for the first time, uh, they start feeling this amazing rush going through their head. Some might even get a headache because what's actually happening is the brain is actually being flushed and hydrated for the first time. It's a beautiful thing to see because you could see the results happening right in front of you. Okay, so Dr. Filzer also wrote this book. He had a third-party study of this university. He was testing kids, and they were putting on a trial with tap water, a placebo, and then the Kangen water. And after a period of time, it's staying on this stringent, this is the only thing you drink, this is the only thing you do, monitoring their diets and everything else. Well, in that month, the massive greater antioxidant capacity from ordinary water, the test showed a massive reduction in inflammatory, so they weren't sore, they weren't having that buildup. And these are athletes now, and all of a sudden their blood had more hydrogen in it and it had an extensive oxygen delivery system, so they were able to perform a lot better and push themselves a lot better. Again, amazing book, and for doctors that's a really good book to actually see the science behind it. And he's getting funding for more and more science, and they have no idea what they're drinking from, these athletes. Okay, So let's do a little bit of math. 160-pound person, you're 72% water. That means 115 pounds of that 160-pound person is water. Now, if water weighs 8.34 pounds per gallon, that means that this person is 13.92 gallons of water. Okay, so that's how much water there is. Now, to completely flush that body with Kangen water, you'd have to drink a gallon per day, and in 2 weeks, you'd completely rehydrate yourself. So just like that fish tank that you see browning and scummy, what do? You don't throw pills into the tank to make them better. You actually have to change the water. So that's what we do. We're changing the water of our body because our body needs to be flushed of all the junk that's sitting in it as well. Now, if you're lazy and if you're only on a 2 week trial, you better be drinking that 1 gallon, because it would take if 4 weeks if you only had a half a gallon per day, and you wouldn't probably feel the results right away as well. And for most people, I tell them try to have a large glass of water every hour, and you'll easily drink that gallon. Like I said, I drink a gallon in an hour and a half in the gym. So it's easily doable. And once you drink this water, you'll see it's a lot lighter, frothier. It goes and absorbs way faster than any other water you've ever had. So don't sip it, guzzle it. Okay, so for cooking, and here my wife started making these amazing meals. Our soups and stews started tasting so much better. I thought she was having some new recipe or somebody else was cooking, because our the meals started tasting so much better. For sprouting, 3 times the yield on sprouting faster. Supplements, you could actually utilize the supplements better, and I'll show you, because most waters is only about a 15% hydration level. That's just water, the acidic water, but Kangen water is 85% plus. So I'll show you an example of what's happening with this a tea bag. Okay, so we just use this Yamamoto green tea. We like using this tea because it has no dyes in it. Okay, so I'm going to try to make just cold tea. And here's our tap water. Okay, so normally we boil the water because it changes the properties of the water, makes the water like steamy and smaller, able to penetrate through the tea bag. But you can see we're not making too much tea with just cold water. So I'll squeeze some out. Let's try the Kangen water. Okay, so bang, right away. So the skeptic in me is because, okay, now the bag is wet. It wasn't wet before. So, that was how I was as a skeptic. So let's squeeze it out. Let's try Dasani this time, if Dasani could actually do something. So again, just room temperature Dasani. See if we can make some water. Okay, so the skeptic in me says now, okay, there's no tea left in this tea bag. Okay, it used it all in the Kangen water side, so yeah, there's no way you're going to make more tea. So let's go back, let's go to Kangen again. Again, bang, we're making tea. Can you see how this would now utilize your supplements, make your foods better? Because it's able to pull that flavor right out, just like it's pulling the flavor right out of the tea bag. So now, even with these drinks here now, let's see if there was actual tea in it. Now, again, enhancing the cellular hydration is amazing, and it's able to pull more of that flavor out. And if you taste this, you'd swear it's green tea. It's just cold green tea. Amazing. So out of a press of a button, the next button is we're just making a clean, crisp, filtered water that's not ionized. Okay. People like to have this with their medications just because they think that the Kangen water is going to work too fast and make your drugs a little bit stronger. But Dr. Filzer says, your stomach has to break that down anyway. So, you could drink Kangen water all the time. Baby food. So for prepping your formula, they use this clean water. But this was back in the day when people would use baking soda to create alkaline water, and where babies would create alkalosis, get colicky. But more and more, our team, people from all over the world, are having their kids drink Kangen water, at least the 8.5, because it boosts their immune system. They're not colicky. They go on play dates. They're not coming back with these colds all the time, like you see kids are always catching the colds and bringing it on to the parents. But this boosts their immune system so they don't catch anything. So they're going straight to Kangen babies. Okay, so at another press a button, we're creating this skincare, this beauty water. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. So beauty water is a pH of 5.5 to 6 pH. So at a press of a button, it's a toner, it's astringent, amazing for doing your face. It's also amazing when you have a microfiber cloth. This is where my wife started saving lots of money, is because you could get rid of all your Windex and it cleans glass, mirrors, amazing. Make your noodles al dente. I use it for my rice, but the toner and astringent of this water is amazing. And there is stuff out on the market. If you look at it, this stuff costs $180 for a small bottle. And this bottle I could fill in 2 seconds with the beauty water from the hose from our machine. And what does it do? It's an antioxidant mineral, restores our skin pH levels, softens our skin, and help improve our skin firmness and radiance. Whoever's sharing the water with you now, ask them for a little bit of this stuff, and you'll see it's completely night and day, amazing what it does for the skin. And this stuff adds up to $3,000 a gallon. And our machine makes this stuff all day long. So now, is this an asset? I bet you it is, right? It's not a liability. So beauty water for growing marijuana plants, like we have the pot farmers buying 4 or 5 of these machines all at once because that pH level that they need, that 6, is maintained throughout. And so their crops are actually yielding 3 times the crop, and they're saving so much money and time and actually making more money having this pH. And the other waters that the machine makes, the 2.5 and 11.5, actually gets rid of mites and it reduces the residue that they get on the plants. So now they have a cleaner, chemical-free plant, again, which makes better sales for them. So press another button. We're making this 2.5 strong acid water. This acid water is actually a 2.5, okay? Dr. Daniel says it's like having a hospital in your home. Okay, there's stuff out on the market that is by Microsin. If you research electrolyzed oxidizing water or hypochlorous acid, this is what this company is making, and they have a stabilizer in it, so it lasts a few months longer. Okay, but again, it's the same as 2.5. And what do we use the 2.5 for? Mouthwash, gargles, soak our toothbrushes, spray counters in bathrooms for athlete's foot, strep throat, pink eye. Spray it right in your eyeballs because it's not a chemical. It's not creating a burn. It actually dissipates throughout our body. So it's amazing. And this stuff worked out to $2,100 a gallon. And again, our machine makes this all day long. Okay, so when we press the same button, that water came out of the bottom hose. Out of the top hose, we're actually making an 11.5 sodium hydroxide. So we use this for food preparation, soak the worst meat in the world, and it becomes the best meat in the world. It tenderizes it and pulls out all the blood, dissolving grease, laundry, 4 cups in your large capacity load with a few drops of essential oil for smell. We haven't been using any detergents in 9 years. So imagine the savings there. And the beauty part of it is our older clothes that we do have is still thick, not thinning out. It actually feels thicker than when we bought it. Use it to brush our teeth, slime, stains. Okay, but the beauty of it is this. Okay, we have these fruits and vegetables, these crops that we buy, and they're full of oil-based pesticides. Okay, farmers spray this stuff to keep the bugs off and to keep anything from going after their investment. And it's oil-based because when they sprinkle, the water doesn't stick to it. And even though you think you're eating organics, well, you have crop dusters. This stuff is all over the environment already. Okay, so I'm going to show you with these tomatoes I just bought what is actually happening with this oil-based pesticide. So I'll put a few in each container. Now, remember I said the Kangen water only lasts for about 2 to 3 days out of containers. Okay, this 11.5, the antioxidant level that is, the 11.5 that we make here in dark containers actually gets stronger with time. So in the months and months, it gets stronger. So let's wash these tomatoes with tap water. Okay, not there yet. Okay, and then we'll wash the other side with the 11.5 strong Kangen water, the sodium hydroxide. And at the same time, we're going to grab some oil. This is sesame oil. Well, after I stir. And the reason we like this sesame oil is because it's dark and in a large room it's very visual. But also, what you're about to see, if it doesn't do what it's about to do, this 11.5, you shouldn't be putting it in your body because it's probably a synthetic. So oil and water don't mix, right? So that's why they spray on our fruits and vegetables. So you could see the oil comes right up to the top. So let's see what the Kangen water could do, the 11.5 strong Kangen water. Okay, emulsified it, broke it down, broke all the proteins immediately. This stuff is 100 times stronger than the 9.5, remember? So this is amazing how it's able to just pull that stuff off. So here's our tap water. So in my mind, this is clean. I cleaned it with the tap water, okay? And this is how we normally do what we do, okay? So it doesn't look like we took too much off. So let's see the 11.5 on the tomatoes, what it did. Wow, what a color. This company has decided to use a food coloring on their pesticide, okay, so that it enhances the look of their tomato. We've done tomatoes where there was no color change at all, but the taste difference was night and day. Now I'm going to show you for laundry detergent. See this oil? That's why 4 cups in a large load could emulsify and clean your clothes. It's that simple. So it had even more water in it and it was able to emulsify the oil still. So back to the tomato, we have had some that had no change in color, but the taste was night and day. And the reason why the taste and the kids don't like their fruits and vegetables because they could taste that pesticide where we've gotten used to it over time. Okay, CFIA, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, tests the fruits and vegetables that we eat. They say most produce test positive for traces of pesticide in organics. It is in our soil, water, and even in our fetal cord blood. So this is directly from the CFIA. So kids are being born with pesticides already in their system. And I always wondered why kids grew up or born sick. This could be a big reason. Okay, farmers that appear to experience elevated rates for several cancers, skin, lip, stomach, brain, breast, and prostate, and the rates for several of these appear to be increasing in the general population. Yes, we are getting sick with cancers through the roof. Is this one of the reasons? It could very well be one of the reasons because pesticides are in everything. So here's the 11.5 in action. Here's a stovetop. They put the 11.5 in a bottle as you show. No, here she is trying to, wipe it away. You could see how stuck on it is. The 11.5, we have some of these bottles as well. And it's just cold sodium hydroxide. So let's see how well she does cleaning the stovetop. And you can see it just breaks it apart, completely washes it away. Amazing, amazing cleaner. So there is stuff out on the market that you could take this pesticide off, but it actually adds stuff to your fruits and vegetables. It doesn't completely wash it off. And I don't think you'd be able to use this stuff to wash your stove and to wash your laundry. And this stuff works out to $40 to $80 per gallon. So if we're just talking the pesticide, our machine makes this all day long. Okay, chemicals. So chlorine, chlorine is big now. It's a disinfectant for our water system. Okay, it's how they keep disease out of our pipes. But actually, chlorine is a carcinogen as well. So let's test some of the tap water that we have. And if the water is clear, that means that there is no chlorine in the water. So I'm going to just pour 2. Then I'm going to get the chlorine drops. And the color chart on the side shows we've had as much as dark oranges in some places. So I put like 3 drops in each. I really only need 1, but I wanted it to work a bit faster. Okay, so give it a stir. Remember, if it was clear, there'd be no chlorine in it. So again, really dark in the chlorine world. Okay, so let's cut a tomato and let's see what happens. And it's not the juices that does this, it's actually the tomato that just filtered that water. So just like our skin, we could have did this with our mouth. Actually put it in your mouth, put it down, put the drops in, there'd be no chlorine because it just entered your body right away. Just like in a shower, we take in about 4 to 6 cups of chlorine when we have a shower. Okay, now you're adding that carcinogen, which has pesticide on it, and you're eating it, and again, disease is through the roof. So now by using the 11.5, 2.5, and the 6.0, we're absolutely chemical free, and we're no wasted plastics anymore. My wife and I have these bottles, and we've had them for 9 years, and we keep using them and keep using them, so we're not a detriment to the environment anymore, adding to the plastic waste. We just keep using the same bottles, and so we're not part of this anymore. Also with the obviously the drinking waters, right? We're not being a harm to the environment. So personally, I could think that I'm doing my part by not adding to this. So here's what most people do. Let's just say $2 a day for the next 15 years, you drink bottled water. Okay, that means almost $11,000 in completely sunken cost. You've completely thrown out the window, okay, by drinking these drinks, and you've created damage to the environment. And you're not talking that you're replacing any of this stuff. You're not talking about maybe cutting your supplement use in half because now your body's able to utilize that supplement and actually make it work better than what it's doing now. And possibly, just possibly, maybe get off your medications. Okay? You won't do that with tap water. So now, if you start realizing everything else that our machine starts to replace, Lysol, 409, disinfectant, stain remover, plant fertilizer, battery cleaner, headline cleaner, it just keeps going on and on, the amount of savings that this machine does, you just wasting money already, why not start putting money in your pocket? So ourselves as a family, my wife and I, since 2010, we've conservatively have saved over $31,000 that's put back into our pockets because we haven't had to buy these other things. And for the military, all the drugs I was taking, I've saved the Canadian people well over $80,000 in the drugs they used to purchase for me to just get by in life. And now I've been no medications, no psychologists, no chiropractors since 2010. Okay, so there is other machines out on the market, but I want you to be buyer beware because a lot of people don't share this. They don't talk about this. Okay, there's lots of them out there and they all say just as good or better than that old technology of Enagic, that old technology of Kangen water. Well, Enagic's been doing it since 1974. They've mastered it. They've tried, 25 plates. They've tried all different types of electricity surges to make our water. But they're saying they have new technology, they have new everything. So let me just point out one thing that you should really be aware of that they don't tell you. There's something called alkalosis, and this is what happens when people think, okay, if I drink too much alkaline water, I'm going to create alkalosis. Never mind the acidosis, but I'm going to create alkalosis. Well, what does alkalosis do? It causes confusion, hand tremors, lightheadedness, muscle twitching, nausea, vomiting, numbness, tingling. Okay, it just goes on and on. But let me show you something that you don't know. Each one of these machines has a secondary filter. In that secondary filter, they're adding minerals. They're adding calcium, tourmaline, all this to fool the numbers of the ORP and the pH. And that mineral wears out as well. And that mineral also wears out their mesh and slotted plates. And what happens is that mineral, the platinum and titanium, starts chipping away, and you start consuming it into your body, because this mineral was not meant to be there, but it's only there for them to fool the numbers. So all these non-quality control videos that you might see online that says that they do the exact same thing, if not better, they don't tell you about this. I have a video in my The World of Hydration YouTube channel that shows you I've taken the filter out of our machine and just put in an empty cartridge, and I've made the exact same water, Kangen water, high ORP, everything, without a filter, because we use a mass amount of electricity and plate size to be able to do what we do. Don't be fooled by these other guys that your body starts to break down, because look at what Dr. Peggy Parker, naturopathic physician, says. When we consume too many inorganic minerals, that they create crystalline structures in our tissue. So this inorganic mineral is what you're seeing in this secondary filter. So some people will get kidney stone, gallstone, arthritis, gout, bone spurs, hardening of arteries, cataracts from crystalline formations created by this inorganic mineral. Over time, they build up and they create some serious health problems. You may feel good at the very beginning, but what happens is that secondary filter that it is actually adding those minerals, and your machine also stops producing the waters because that mineral washes away after a couple weeks. Okay, so the choice is yours when we go back to Enagic. Okay, we've been around since 1974. We have a 5-year warranty on most of the machines, 3 years on the smaller ones. Okay, 15 to 30-year life expectancy. We just keep adding the years because the units are just lasting that long because they are built medical grade. Okay, approved as a medical device by the Japanese Ministry of Health and Welfare. Platinum coated titanium plates that are all medical grade. They're at the highest level dipped plate machines or plates. Industry's best automatic self-cleaning. So what that is every 15 minutes of water run, the machine will want to do a self-cleaning where it just reverses the plates, the charge of the plates, and it descales itself. But you'll also have to do something called an e-clean, which is every 2 weeks or month. There's instructions, it's in the DVD, shows you exactly, and what it does is it uses the citric acid to completely clean the plates, all food grade. So amazing way to clean your plates. Patented technology that cannot be copied. Only the Enagic units can produce that 2.5 and 11.5. This is the savings machine of this machine, because those waters are priceless to us. Okay, so it all depends on which machine is yours, and I'll just talk about the 3 top ones because I want you to feel the same thing I did. And when you decide, hopefully, if you get this technology and you decide to share with somebody, I want you to give them the most antioxidant as well. So the level of Kangen 8, this is the antioxidant king. 8 plates, speaks 8 languages. The beauty with this machine, it has a built-in inverter so that I could travel to any country, and all I need is the plug for that country, because I don't have to walk around with a up voltage regulator or lower voltage regulator. All I have to do is go to the Enagic office or message them and say I need a plug for India. They send it to me. I just purchase it and away I go. I don't have to worry, because again, remember, I can't go more than a few days without my water. So I bring my machine wherever I go. And the beauty with this machine, even though it's the biggest, most powerful, it's actually one of the lightest. It's actually only 7 pounds, and I carry it in my carry-on so that I could just travel all over. I just make sure it's out of water, and I bring the manual with me and a sheet that proves it's a medical device. And all the airlines have seen these machines passing through, so they're really just letting us through. They just swab it. Okay, So this is the Platinum. This is a SD501 Platinum. This one speaks 5 languages. Uh, and this is the beauty with if you, all your furniture in your all your appliances are stainless steel. People are liking the look of this one. And again, this one makes all the waters extremely powerful. Okay, and again has 5 plates. Amazing machine, and you could switch it. Okay, the SD51, this is the workhorse. Okay, it's the same as the Platinum, but now this is the machine that they use in MMA gyms, naturopathic offices. They're pumping 200 to 500 gallons through these machines every day, sharing the water, and they're drinking it. And this is actually the machine that originally changed my life. Before, when I ranked up to a certain rank, I got the K8 as a present to myself. And I mean, who wouldn't want it anyways? Okay, again, makes all the waters. So, uh, ways to purchase the K8 is 5,000. So money order or certified check, credit card. A lot of people love using their line of credit. So what they do is they get a line of credit, which is basically about 4 to 6% interest. They purchase the machine with their credit card, where they get all the points, the rewards, whatever their card has, and then they pay off their credit card with their line of credit, so that their payment is extremely low. And we're talking on a $5,000 machine, your payment may be $50 a month. It's crazy. Okay, so there's Medicard.com, which is a Canadian company, finance company that helps patients purchase medical devices through financing. And so what we've seen is for the Kangen 8, anywhere from $100 to $130 per month. No penalty for paying it off. And again, and they're the only ones that recognize Enagic as a medical device, so they help finance. There's creditcards.com. You could go there and actually shop for your own credit card and put the amount of the card that you want, like how much you want to find or your credit card max to be, and you could get 12 months. I've seen as high as 24-month interest free. Okay, so you just purchase your machine off there, and again, that way your payment is about $80 per month, if not a little bit less, depending on the machine. And there's a Enagic payment system, which is a no interest payment plan by the company for people who have bad credit or are just struggling. But the thing is it has a high down payment and it has high monthly payments, but your machine is paid off anywhere from 3 months to 16 months, depending on the plan you choose. Or even in the States, they have 20 and 24-month term uh, lengths of payment. So again, interest free, so anybody could get a machine. Okay, so a little rundown. One medical device to produce different waters: water to drink and hydrate your body, water to detoxify your cells, water to enhance your health, water to improve your skin and hair, water to clean your produce, add to the quality of your cooking, water to go germ free in your house, water to clean everything in your home, do your laundry, lasts you a lifetime if you maintain it, and the power to share with everyone. This is the biggest word for me because, quite frankly, the people that shared the water with my wife way back in 2010 could have just shut up about it and not said anything, not educated her, not asked her to go to demos, not let her try the water, not let her try the disinfecting and the cleaning of these waters. If they would have said nothing, my life would not be, I probably wouldn't be here today. But through their generosity, we've decided to pay that forward and do that for everyone. So I would hope that you would find it in your heart, if you did decide to purchase a machine, to share this with the world. Okay. So our goal as a team is through sharing. When you purchased your machine, the company gave you a distributor number or an ID number. And basically what that is every time you decided to share the technology with someone you loved, your family member, a, a co-worker, someone who you seen was struggling health-wise, you decided to share with them. And let's say they decided to purchase the exact same machine you did, well, the company every time would send you a thank you check and you give you commission towards a sale. And after about 8 people, if they purchase the same machine, you've completely paid off yours. So in that amount of time, SD501 is a $4,000 machine. You've completely got back everything on your investment just by sharing and possibly changing the lives of a few people that you love. So through that, I hope I made it a point to show you that there's assets and liabilities. When I was first taught or shown about this machine, I thought it was an absolute liability. It was costing me money, just like a house that you own or a car that you own, you're putting money and throwing it away every month. Whereas if you, on the left side, the asset, if you owned homes but you rented them, they actually become an asset because they put money back in your pocket every month. And I hope you would agree that I've proven to you that the Kangen machine is actually an asset to you. It's not a liability. It actually puts money into your pocket. And if you decide to go further with this, it could continue to put money in your pocket, even more so than you could ever imagine, just by changing people's lives. So how simple it is, we fill out 3 pieces of paper here in Canada. We help you set up your unit. If not, the DVD comes with the machine, a manual comes with the machine. It shows you exactly how to set it all up. We teach you and your family how it works. You'll be sent amazing PDFs, amazing things on what each water does, amazing tools on how that this technology helps the body and the people, and we help you educate yourself and others. Because as you could see, that this takes a bit to explain. This machine is not just a filter. It's a machine built to change people's lives, health, wealth, and peace of mind. And that's what we do. So we have an amazing team underneath us that's built amazing training systems, amazing tools to educate you and others. Okay, we have amazing Facebook groups, also webinars, Zoom calls, amazing things to help you get yourself up off the ground. And really, it's up to you whether you want to take this on. But I really, like I said, I want you to change people's lives like my life was changed. So, if all this machine did was substantially improve your health, would it be worth it? If all this machine did was eliminate toxic detergents and chemical cleaners and save you $5,000 a year, would it be worth it? Asset. If all this machine did was help you reduce plastic waste for a better future for our kids, would it be worth it? And how about if all this machine did was help you increase your tax write-offs by over $10,000 per year by being able to call yourself now a home-based business, having a machine where you could write off the machine, your cell phone, your gas, your websites, everything for your home office, partial of your house, you could write off your room. You could easily save yourself and write off over $10,000 per year just by having a machine and sharing water, calling yourself a home-based business. Wouldn't that be worth it to you? So get back to the person who invited you. They may not know what A, B, or C is, but you tell them, this is what I said. If you're an A, you're going to tell them you're an A. And what that means is unfriend me on Facebook, lose my phone number. I'm perfectly fine with pesticides, oxidated water. I'm okay with me being slowly diminished to illness. I don't want to change a thing, so leave me alone. That's an A. B is a little bit better. I like B a little bit better because B is, can I have a bit more information and can I try the water for a bit, maybe 2 weeks or so? And maybe try my aunt and uncle on this too. Maybe my father, my mother. Can we put them all on the water at the same time? That's a B. Or C is, I want it now. I wanted it yesterday. Let's fill out the paperwork. And at the same time, can I have some water while I wait for my machine to come in? And hey, can I put my mom and dad on the water? Can I put my aunts and uncles on the water? Can I put my cousin on the water? Let's put them all on the water. So I want to thank you for being here and listening to my presentation. And I look so forward to seeing you one day or seeing you after this call, and will answer any questions you have. Okay, again, Roger Gaudette, love you. Have a great day.